Hello, welcome back to Bald and Board Games. I'm Bald,
I'm bored.
and we are bringing you a rulebook rundown of this recently opened Ring of Chaos by Beadle and Grimm.
Yes, it is a brand new game. Literally came out within the last week. Kickstarter was a while ago, but it just got delivered. We're super excited to hop into it. As Nick mentioned, we just did unboxing, so check out that video. We're now going to walk through the rule book, give you guys a chance to help understand all of the rules, all of the fun little things that happen in this game and how to win, as we learn it as well.
Yep, absolutely. Let's go.
So let's do it.
Dig in.
Pop out everything here. Have a map.
I'll take a map.
I'll take a map. We don't know what board we're using.
We'll put a we're gonna put a third one between us. There's gonna be three of us anyway.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not?
Boom. One of those tres, cuatro, cinco, seis.
All right. So first, we'll just get all this stuff out, kind of just prepped right here. And since I bought the game, I'm deeming black.
Go for it. I'll go white. Why not?
All right.
And then whoever is in the middle here will be green.
That works.
And then we'll worry about the minis when we get to that.
Yeah. So if you've never played a D&D-esque game without the acting, this is it. So the way this will work, just to give a very quick overview, we'll go through literally every piece of the thing, but you're going to have 4 characters. Those characters are going to be on a game board, fighting along, trying to earn summoning points. And at the end of the game, if you can achieve to gain 11 summoning points, you'll win. Or if the rest of the players in the game all die, and all of their characters die, you'll win as well. But here we go. Let's see what map we want to use. So a quick setup, it shows this map, so let's just use this one. What's the odds I put in the right corner? Hey, nice. It's a good day.
Yeah.
All right. So first off, we have the credits page. So giving credit to everyone who helped design, develop, do the artwork, all of the fun things that we love in this game, including, obviously, Beadle and Grimm and all of their partnerships. Ages 13 plus, 60 to 90 minutes, and 3 to 6 players. So that'll be a nice fun. It's not super long of a game like most D&D-esque board games would be, or campaign-based. So it's not campaign-based. It's just going to be every play is unique to one another. So quick setup, player mats, choose a battle map. We're just going to use this one for the example. We'll figure out which one to use when we actually do the playthrough. We'll assign heroes and all that momentarily. Place the ring on the chaos. He did. And then we'll get everything else ready. So here we go. Objective of the game. Each player commands a group of 4 heroes in a quest to claim the all-powerful Ring of Chaos and hold it long enough to summon the Chaos Gods to their service. You can claim victory in one of 2 ways. Gathering 11 summoning points, or be the last adventuring party with at least 1 living hero. And these 4 are your heroes. Important terminology. Adventuring party is your 4 heroes, 1 of each class, controlled by a single player. A hero is an individual party member represented by a single card. Every hero must assign 1 class, represented by where they are placed on your player map. Every hero will have 1 of 3 status options. Full strength, which will be face up. Mm-hmm. You'll have wounded, which is face down. And then you have dead, which is dead.
Off the board.
For the purposes of winning the game, both a full strength and wounded heroes are alive. Removed from play is considered dead. You'll have 4 classes. A fighter, a cleric, a rogue, and a wizard. Each class has special cards associated with them in the action deck that are color-coded. If you can't see color, well, it's going to be a struggle.
Steve.
Yeah. For example, if you look at the card Pickpocket in the deck, it has a red header. Red header specifically goes to the rogue class. Mm-hmm. Counter cards are action cards that take effect, that prevent the effect of another card a player uses. They can be played when it's not your turn. Quick setup we just read through. Detailed setup. You want to go through all that?
Sure, why not? All right. Each player takes 1 player mat and places it in front of them. Done. Choose one of the 4 battle maps. They have different layouts presenting different challenges, but are equal in complexity. Place the selected battle map in the center of the table where everyone can reach it.
And most likely, to Bulletin Board style, we will find out which of these 4 is the worst and hardest, and use that one to do our first playthrough.
It honestly might be this one
because of
that island that's there. Yeah,
I would assume it's probably one of the ones on that one because that's in the platinum version only.
Not this one, because this one has at least the other side is the base that everyone's been getting.
Oh, that is.
I think this is.
Is this not? Did this not match the picture in front of the book?
It matched this one in the front here.
Oh.
For us,
not,
but
not okay.
Yeah. See, this is
providing
the
4 different. Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, pick a starting player at random and deal 2 adventuring party. What are you doing? Oh my God! You are
looking at the back of the board.
Boy. Deal 2 adventuring party cards to that player.
That's these.
Yep. So you'll be first player. Just go for it.
Sure. So, we don't even know what these do, so we're just gonna literally.
Yep. The player chooses 1 to be their adventuring party. The next clockwise player receives the rejected adventuring party card and a new adventuring party card and chooses between the 2. This continues around the table so that every player is choosing 1 of 2 possible adventuring party cards. So since what the saying is he has 2, Steve's going to choose 1.
Okay.
And he gives the next player, which would be Ryan in the middle. Ryan gets a new one dealt out. He can choose from one of those. We'll say he chooses the new one. Then the one he didn't choose comes over to me. Then I get one. And then I choose one of these. And then it just continues around the table for however many players you have. So we only have 3 of us, so we don't need the rest of this. I'll put them over there. Okay. Once everyone is selected adventuring party, each player reads aloud their adventuring party's name and special power.
This is hilarious. So we just randomly grabbed. We didn't know what any of these were, and I took the one where I was like, "Oh, this has a cool effect."
Yeah.
So I took So you have the 4 cards that are associated to this, which I'm assuming Nick's about to literally read. I literally got Beadle and Grimm.
Nice. Hilarious.
That's fun.
So what's the name of your group and what's your effect?
So Giant Slayers is the name of the card here, and the effect is every time you are hit by an attack, you get to draw a card.
Very cool. We'll skip over Ryan's for now.
Well, what are you over here?
I am the Hellraisers. You can discard. I'm not even on my. It's hilarious.
Oh, because you moved everything.
Well, because we have Ryan here, so.
Yeah, that's fine.
I am the Hellraisers. You can discard a random card selected by the target player as a counteraction to negate a resurrection card or necromancy card. So you can discard a random card selected by the target player, okay, as a counteraction to negate a resurrection or a necromancy card.
Oh, cool. So you don't actually have to use a counter card. You can just use your effect and discard any card.
But it seems like selected by the target player. So it seems like whoever I'm...
No, they just select which card you're discarding.
Right, so randomly they would just select one of my cards that I'm
but
discarding.
You can count. It allows you to counter.
That allows me to counter.
That's kind of fun.
Cool. Then it says, announce what their party's catchphrase will be. This can be anything you want. It is simply a phrase that you will repeat every round to signify the end of your turn. So, for example here, Char, playing the Hellraisers, announces that her catchphrase will be, I'll see you in hell. Going forward, she will repeat it at the end of every turn to signify that she has completed all her actions, and the next player may draw. What's your catchphrase going to be?
Don't know. We'll find out in the playthrough.
That's a weird catchphrase. Hellraisers. It's time to raise hell. That's mine.
That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's supposed to be. It's a catchphrase. It's supposed to be dumb. Next, each player takes the 4 hero cards and that make up their adventuring party, have the same party name and bottom of their cards, at the bottom of their cards. So at the bottom of the cards, mine all say Hellraisers, just like the title of my group. Arrange them on the 4 class slots on their player mat, Cleric, Fighter, Rogue, Wizard. There is no gameplay impact for which hero is which class, but they must remain in the same class for the entire game. So you're going to place all cards face up without the cannot be defeated text covering. So on the reverse side, you see it says cannot be defeated. So you're going to place them as Steve has here face up, so you're not seeing that.
And again, you can place these however you want. It's not like one of them says rogue, etc. the abilities and effects mentioned on the cards, so like this card's purple, will be for the wizard, but it's whoever you have as the wizard. So obviously, I did somewhat theme it because I love playing rogue characters in all MMORPGs or just RPGs in general. And I love using a bow and arrow. So my rogue is the one with the bow, and everything else is kind of just laid in.
Okay. So you place them all face up, blah, 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 and covering the tombstone. The indicates that they are all full health. Yep. Each player takes their pair of matching party minis that match their adventuring party card. One goes on their player mat summon ladder, and everyone starts at 0. The other mini goes onto the board somewhere, onto the battle map at the starting space closest to the player.
Ooh, that's fun.
The edge spaces, yeah, must be the edge spaces at the base of the stairway. So, right. So I have these two little guys because that matches this little dude.
So this matches number.
Just matches one of them. So what's your number 4 look like?
Number 4 is a so I do with whatever these are called. Some mace.
No mace. You might be maybe the bow and arrow here. I think you're probably her.
Sweet. Even better.
Thank you.
This is right on my alley.
Yep.
I love the Giant Slayers.
Is that your P4 card?
No, it was my 3.
What's your 4 card?
That's what I said. That was
guy.
do with the mace guy. So based on the description here, it would just go on whatever entry space, which I'm assuming are these light blue color, because there's 6 players. So one closest to you, so let's put it there for now.
Cheater, that one's closer to you.
That's closest to Ryan.
This one's closest to Ryan.
We're both closest to Ryan. I'm like, I just want to be over here because I do my own.
Place the Ring of Chaos in the Chaos Altar, which is right over here. Oh, can't see it.
Yes, it is. Right over there.
Right there. Shuffle the 8 Temple Guardian cards in with the action cards and deal 4 cards face down to every player. So there are some Temple Guardian cards.
Yeah, that's the ones you read. The one you read, you're like, oh, this is an instant effect. That's a Temple Guardian.
Oh, that's Temple Guardian?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just grabbed any cards now.
So it says to deal 4 cards face... What?
Because they're literally the same. Like, there's multiples of the same card number or card effect.
No. So you're shuffling the 8 Temple Guardian cards in with the action cards and deal 4 cards face down to every player. If a player receives a Temple Guardian card in their initial hand, put that card in the discard pile and take another card. Do this as many times as necessary so that everyone starts with 4 cards. Place the deck face down on the table as the draw pile. So we should probably show them what a Temple Guardian card looks like.
Well, we'll find one and get it to you. What if it's the bottom card? Nope. None of those.
Does it say Temple Guardian?
Yes. Literally will. It's going to be gray and say Temple Guardian. Like that.
All right.
Let's go to yours.
These are Temple Guardian cards. Like it says, Temple Guardian at the top here. And they have a dark gray top to them. So those, if you draw one, you would put in the discard pile and draw a new card until you have a hand of 4 cards. But those are all shuffled into the deck initially. So then my starting hand, no Temple Guardians.
Same.
Good.
4 different cards, even better.
And you want to go through playing the game?
Sure. So now, to play the game, and what I'm going to read is kind of going to match what's on your player board, which is nice. It makes it a little easy to follow along as the game actually progresses. The player to the left of the player who selected the first adventuring party goes first. So Nick would go first in this case. And then you go clockwise from there. Every player's turn is made up of 3 phases. Phase 1 is you're going to draw 3 cards one at a time. It's very important that you draw them one at a time because if you draw a Temple Guardian card, you must resolve that card immediately before continuing to draw up to your 3 cards. Then, phase 2 is you're going to take up to 3 actions. You can only take 1 action of each type, but you can take all 3. First one is take up 1 move action, which is playing a move action card, or you can move up to 2 spaces on the game board. So on the game board here, 2 spaces are literally, as Nick is showing, adjacent spaces connected by a line, You cannot just say 1, 2, since that is not connected. Or you'll have a move action card. So I don't know if I have any specifically in my hand. Do you have any in your hand?
Yes.
You do. There we go.
So this is a move action card here. It says leadership, and it literally says on the card, move action.
Yep.
And this one specifically for leadership says move all parties other than yourself to any open space on the map. So very interesting. This card would allow me to move everybody else wherever I wanted to move them to. And it says to any open space on the map. So if they're about to get that chaos ring, I can just say, nope, pick you up and throw you as far away as possible.
Yeah. So that's fun, and that's definitely something Nick and I will do to each other as the game progresses.
Absolutely. But luckily for me as a Hellraisers, I can randomly discard a card to counter if you try to do that to me, I think.
Nope, only certain cards.
Oh, Resurrection Necromancy.
Yeah, I read his ability already.
Yeah. Yep.
The second type of action you can take is an action.
It's an action.
It's attack action. Same thing. You can play an attack action card, or you can draw an additional action card for your hand. Cool. So in my hand of 4, hypothetically, let's say I just didn't have any attack action cards and I only had bonus and move, I can just draw a card. But I do have an attack action, so I can just play it. So this says attack any adjacent hero. It can be countered by parry. So if someone has the parry card, they can counter this. But if not, if I was adjacent to Nick over here on the game board, I can, boom, go and attack. And then, again, each attack action card is going to have different effects. All of them will do a little bit differently and have different things that can counter them.
And so adjacency is just in like a spot adjacent?
Melee adjacency.
Because you can't be in the same space as them.
Correct. So. Yeah, so that's melee adjacency. Range could be different based on card.
What's nice about these little rubber bases is that they don't slide on this slick board.
Yes, that is very nice.
And it looks like the attack actions can only be countered by specific cards, like you said, by parry. This one that I have, Lightning Bolt, says it can only be countered by dodge. A Pit Trap I have here says counter, just in general. It's countered if the party's rogue is alive. So like typically that would hit every other player, but if the party's rogue is alive, then your party's not affected at all.
Yeah,
that's cool.
That's fun. So it really makes it where you have to think ahead of who you're attacking and what cards they have and what characters they have alive. Mm-hmm. And it's not just like, I can counter anything. Like it's, I kind of like that aspect to it. The final type of action is a bonus action. You can play a bonus action card. An example of that would be here. I have a healing potion. So I can raise one hero from wounded to full strength. There's going to be a bunch of other cards that are bonus actions. Additional bonus actions is the most important one. If I am sitting here, I can pick up the Ring of Chaos. Actually, if you're on the ring, I can pick it up if you're in the same space. If Nick possessed the ring on his game board, I don't know. If Nick possessed the ring on his game board, which is right here, then I can actually steal it as long as I am adjacent to him. So that would be my bonus action. And then the very final step.
A bonus action or take the ring. Nice.
Yeah, so you can use a bonus action card or as a bonus action in that part of the action phase. You can steal the ring or take the ring.
Nice.
And then the final thing is you cannot end your turn with more than 5 cards. So you must discard any excess. It is your choice. That is not a random process. And there will be a discard pile.
Cool.
All right, how do we move?
Move it. Movement cards, and player positions. The battle map shows where each adventuring party stands in relation to each other on the Temple of Chaos. If there is line connecting one space to another, those spaces are considered adjacent. So like beforehand, there's a line here. This space is adjacent to me right now. For both combat and movement purposes. That would be adjacent. On their turn, a player can choose to use their move action to move their party member up to 2 adjacent spaces on the battle map, like I said previously, so 1, 2. If the space you want to end your move on is occupied by another party member, adventuring party, God, I cannot read. You can push that party to another empty adjacent space of your choice, including the one you are vacating, and take the space for yourself. So, if I was moving 2 from here, I could go 1, 2, and I could move Steve over here to this adjacent space.
Yes.
Okay.
I wonder based on how it reads, let's say I was there
Mhm.
and you were here.
Mhm.
If you come into here, do you get to pick which of the 5 spaces?
So
Or do I pick?
No, so it's only if I end my movement there and I get to.
Okay, so
proceed.
yeah, so if you ended your movement here
Yeah.
and I was there, you could throw me wherever you wanted to.
Yep.
Well, adjacently. Okay.
Yep. So the person moving gets to choose where the person goes.
That's a fun also effect to
Yeah.
like really screw them over.
It's true. If you're moving 2 spaces and you pass through an occupied space, the other party does not, as we
Makes
just
sense.
covered. Additionally, there are several move action cards that allow players to change party positions on the battle map, which we covered previously. And the attack actions. Okay. There are 2 basic types of attack cards. Melee attacks, which can only affect a party adjacent to yours on the battle map, and ranged attacks, which can only affect a party that is not adjacent to yours. So that means Steve cannot attack me with a ranged attack.
And it says very specifically on the cards, melee and range, so you know exactly what it is. The words of what the card is should also help clarify that. So the melee, attack an adjacent hero, as Nick just covered. The ranged, attack a non-adjacent hero. So if I was over here, boom, boom, non-adjacent. I wonder, and Nick will probably cover this.
Chucking your axe.
If I am here and you're here, that is not adjacent because it doesn't connect by a line.
Correct. It says adjacency is if there is a line connecting one space to the other, those spaces are considered adjacent for both combat and movement purposes. So technically, these 2 are not adjacent.
So therefore,
You could arrange me.
I could throw across the ocean. I'd be like, I see him. Chuck an axe. Somehow throw it, it hits something, bounces back.
Just gets you. Oh, man. A card designated as attack action / any, like imprison. Nice.
I also shuffle these around and grabbed them.
Oh,
I grabbed one of each.
This is working out perfectly. This is great. Can be used as either melee or ranged.
And the effect of imprison here is cause any one player to lose all action phases on their next turn. You place this card, the imprison card, in front of that target until the effect happens, and then it goes to the discard pile.
And attack action / all cards like Pit Trap.
That was awesome.
I know. Impact every adventuring party except the one who played it. Great. Attacks are always directed at a specific hero / class, e.g. the fighter. The player who plays the attack card chooses which of the other player's heroes they want to attack.
Which is also fun.
Right. So in this instance, so the attack all is, if it specifies on there like Pit Trap, it says every other player lowers 1 hero 1 level. So you would designate, okay, I'm attacking the fighter or whatever.
Now, what
But
if
for
that,
Pit Trap, it's countered if the rogue,
yeah,
party's rogue is alive, so that wouldn't happen at all.
right now. But in theory, you could like stack it to be like, oh, I'm going to use the sword to kill their rogue, and then the next turn use Pit Trap,
Yeah.
and boom.
Yep. Cool.
All right.
The exceptions for attacking are attack action all, attacks that affect more than one party member, such as Pit Trap. Okay. So Pit Trap effects says every other player lowers 1 hero. You choose 1 level. Okay.
Yeah.
Or attacks and Temple Guardian. So those are the 2 exceptions where you're not choosing which specific hero in someone's adventuring party you're attacking, because
The
it just
defender gets to choose.
the person who's being attacked is just choosing. So that's why for Pit Trap, if they have the rogue alive, they can say, nope, didn't happen. The rogue just danced right over those little spikes.
Yep.
Didn't happen. Nope, we're good. That's Steve. Steve's a little dancing rogue.
I take that as a compliment.
I know. I don't like the rogue.
I do. I love rogue.
In these cases, the defending player chooses which heroes attack, which we just said. And most attack cards have other cards that can prevent their effects, known as counter cards. When an attack card is played against one of your heroes, you can play any appropriate counter card from your hand as an immediate counter action. Nice.
So, Chaos Magic, for example, is a bonus action or a counter action.
Beadle and Grimm told us to watch out for that.
Is it really?
Yeah, so they told us when we posted the story, they said, watch out for the Chaos Magic.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Force any one player to give you 1 summoning point. Can be countered by another Chaos Magic from any player. So it means obviously there's multiple of this card.
Endgame points. For
Yeah.
that one.
What's the odds?
Nice.
Today, it's a fun day.
This is a good day right now.
A few other counter actions. Here we go. We'll show this one. So this counter action here is just a counter action. You can prevent a player from taking the ring from any other player, but then you have to reduce one of your heroes 1 level. So if you know someone has the ring who only has 2 summoning points, and someone with 8 is trying to steal it,
or if you have the ring,
or if you have the ring, boom, counter it. But then you're potentially costing one of your people to go dead.
Well, this would be the fighter specifically because it's blue.
So the way I think, and this will help clarify, I think the fighter has to be alive for you to use that card. It doesn't have to be against the fighter.
Oh, so it just says reduce 1 of those. Okay, that makes sense.
So in order to use the card, I have to have a live fighter. Which honestly,
as we keep reading, it'll probably tell us.
100% it will.
Yeah. So I'm going to finish this section, and then I'll give you the rest of that here.
I think this should be
the Guardians, and then all that kind of stuff in game. So taking damage. Every hero starts the game at full strength. When an attack against them is successful, they are reduced to the wounded. Flip over their card, so the cannot defend text is displayed.
Yes. And each of these have that. And it does have a fun little like blood streak on it too. It is the same artwork.
Yep.
But like a nice little blood streak, and then cannot defend.
Cool.
Finish him.
A wounded hero cannot use counter cards to defend itself against further attacks. So
to defend itself. Okay.
So here, no, I think here in general, like you wouldn't be able to play that heroic sacrifice to this fighter because he's wounded.
But you're not defending himself.
I think it's find out. Yeah. If a wounded hero has another successful attack against it, the hero is reduced to dead. Remove the card from your map. When a hero is dead, you can no longer use cards that are exclusive to that hero's class. Okay. For example, if you are a fighter, if your fighter is currently dead, you cannot play the Savage Attack card, which would be blue.
Which, that's not what it's called.
No.
Imagine.
So I guess that one would be able to be used, but you wouldn't be able to use that to kill yourself.
Yeah. That makes sense.
If all your heroes are reduced to dead, you are immediately out of the game. Heroes generally only move 1 status level up or down at a time, as defined by the card played. A full-strength hero can be reduced to wounded, or a dead hero can be reduced to wounded.
Raised.
Or raised. Jesus.
So, necromancy is a thing. We can come back from the dead.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's fun.
So that situation we used on Steve's card there, the Heroic Sacrifice, if someone's trying to take the ring from Steve, he could literally sacrifice his fighter to keep that ring from being taken.
Yeah, so if I had the fighter a lot, let's say my situation was like this, where I had 2 that are in the cannot defend state, 2 fully healthy, I could use Heroic Sacrifice. The fighter is alive, that's all that matters for me to use this card. And I can either just kill off one of these if I wanted to.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Or I can now flip this to cannot defend status.
Well, that's what I was saying. If he was in the cannot defend status, then you could literally also just like kill off your fighter and be like, all right, his last sacrifice.
No, you can't. You said you can't use it for...
You can't use it to protect it.
Oh, true.
You can't defend or counter to keep it from taking damage. So you could literally kill
your fighter. But I could cause my own damage, yeah.
I don't know. I think it's fun. I think it's always fun when you can kill your own people for the betterment of your squad.
Yeah, and it really matters the hand of cards you have. If you have all of like one color, keep that one alive, and then you can cost the rest. I like that. That's fun.
All right, wearing the Ring of Chaos. On their turn, a player may get an opportunity to take and wear the Ring of Chaos. This can only happen under 3 conditions. 1, if the ring is unclaimed and in their space on the map, they can pick it up as a bonus action, or, so that would be literally here, and saying, that is mine now.
You cannot play a bonus action card as well. That is your bonus action.
Correct. If the ring is being worn by an adventuring party that is adjacent on the map, they can use their bonus action to steal it.
Rips my finger off too.
Yeah. You can play a card that allows, so this is the 3rd thing, you can play a card that allows them to take the ring from another party, such as Dominance. Interesting. So assuming with Dominance, you probably don't have to be adjacent to do so.
I wish I randomly just happened to grab Dominance.
Yeah. Dominance is it's a move action. So switch places on the battle map with the party that is currently holding the ring and claim it for yourself. So you could be on entirely opposite ends of this battle map. If you play Dominance, you feel like, you know what? So like if Steve's over here, be like, I'm going to swap with you, and then I'm going to take that ring from you as well at the same time.
That's fun.
Nice. The player takes the ring and places it under their mini on the board to alert everyone at the table that their party possesses the ring. That's why earlier we wouldn't go put it on my board. I was doing this. I saw earlier that they were doing this while playing. So the ring sits underneath your mini, so that way everyone knows where it's at. An adventuring party that acquires the ring by any method automatically gains 1 summoning point. The summoning points are on the bottom of our player boards, so this would be 1 summoning point. It would go up by obtaining the ring.
I do love how a lot of games would just give you a little circled disc and be like, oh, your actual minis on the game board, you have a little circled disc or a little meeple or something to raise and lower. Here, I do love how not only do we have Sun Drop minis in the Platinum Edition, but we have 2 of each one. So your movement counter is another mini. So I did like how Beadle and Grimm took a little bit extra effort, probably a little bit more cost, to give us a second mini of each one to use that as our tracker.
And again, that is in the Platinum Edition. The regular edition of this comes with the cardboard like punch outs and little standee things.
Yep.
And you're using those instead. The real reason why Steve likes this, I think, and hates the little punch out dial is because Steve struggles to find the correct token to match the mini. The artwork's not exactly the same. Steve's like, I can't.
Yeah, it kind of bothers me. Like, Reigns of Chaos has done it perfectly. This literally matches my character. Yep. Exactly, stance and everything.
Yep.
I do hate how
you'll have a card struggles with hard.
Yeah, you'll have a card that has a rogue. It has a bow and arrow on it, and the bow and arrow is like drawn. And then the mini has a bow and arrow on their back. So it's the same character type, but a completely different look. And I'm like, that doesn't make sense. Why wouldn't you match the artwork to how you built the mini, or vice versa?
Nope, I agree. I do. I get it.
So good job, Beadle and Grimm. You did it perfectly.
I had to rag on you, though.
No, that's fine.
All right. And so, secondly, if a party is wearing the ring at the start of their turn, they gain 3 summoning points. So if I'm able to hold on to this ring until my turn comes back around, I automatically gain 3 more summoning points.
Yes.
It's great. All right. Let's go back to this view. Way more interesting than my hands in the book.
Oh, I should have summoned.
Discarding excess cards. No, I meant
yeah.
At the end of your turn, you can hold only up to 5 cards in your hand. This is the only time when there is a limit to the number of cards you can hold. So during your turn, if you have cards allow you to just pull a bunch of cards, or I assume during someone else's turn, if you end up somehow acquiring a bunch of cards,
comment on that.
Then you can hold on to those. It's only at the end of your turn to get the discard down to 5.
Yes. So for example, let's say I have exactly 5 cards in my hand, which meets the requirement, and moves on clockwise. Let's say Ryan goes and Ryan attacks me. Well, as a Giant Slayer, I get to draw a card when I'm attacked. Oh. So I can draw a 6th card. If Nick also attacks me, I get to draw a 7th. I can start my turn with 7 cards, as long as at the end, I either discard down to 5 or use 2 of them.
Nice. Fun.
Or actually, I'd have to use a bunch more because you draw 3 to start your turn.
I feel like that's very, like, the Giant Slayer's ability is very reminiscent of, like, your playstyle with a lot of card-based games.
Cycling.
You like to cycle and, you like to have as much information as possible.
I think it's the odds thing. Yeah. Like, I'm an analyst, so I love the odds. I like to be able to see all possible routes.
He's also an addicted gambler.
No, I haven't been gambling in months.
That's because you moved.
That's true. I've been busy.
I know. And yes, you were. You were on... Your fantasy league is essentially gambling. It's just a lesser version. DraftKings.
I paid for that at the beginning of the MLB season. That was back in April.
That's not, he doesn't have a problem. He can handle it. He can stop whenever he wants to. No.
That means Nick and his addicted board game buyer.
Oh, absolutely. I am in no denial for that whatsoever. Between the artwork, how fun I would rather play board games all day long than go out to a bar, than work.
Oh, I don't disagree with that at all.
Oh my God, absolutely. My goodness.
Like there's plenty of Saturdays where we'll play a game like Successors for 6 straight hours. I have no issue with that.
If I had a sugar mama who didn't care, and I would just buy board games and enjoy them and make them, and that would become my entire world.
Tell Jen to start making some movies faster.
That is the goal. So that's our goal. We're going to be making games as well. So stay tuned for Bald and Board Games. Games. All right. Party elimination.
Dun dun dun.
When all heroes in a player's adventuring party are dead, the player is permanently eliminated. Discard all remaining cards and remove the player's party mini from the battle map. The player who dealt the final blow to the other party receives all eliminated players' summoning points. So if Steve had 5 points on the board and I killed him, I would get all 5 of his points. That would bring my 4 up to a 9. Great. Although, As described in Claiming Victory below, you cannot go past 10 summoning points via this reward.
Correct.
So if I had 7 and I got his 5 points, I would have to stop at 10. You cannot win by killing somebody.
Which the nice artwork on this board as well, it's a little subtle, but it's there, is the 11th does have a circle around it where it kind of indicates that the 11 is a special summoning point. Obviously, it is the victory one, but it requires something in that circle that's circle-esque. And what is that something?
Don't know yet, because you're going to do Claiming Victory.
That's accurate.
If no player is responsible for the final blow, for example, as a result of a Temple Guardian card, no one receives a reward. If the eliminated party was wearing the ring, it is dropped in the party's vacated space on the battle map.
What I would love, if they do this for an expansion maybe, is play the Temple Guardians as like an AI almost. So if the Temple Guardian kills you, they get all of those, and if they get to 11 first, win. And then all the players lose.
You could probably just do that. Just take one of the boards you're not using, and you take one of the minis you're not using.
Once we do a playthrough and see how it runs with just human players, we might try that out.
Because you could have the Temple Guardian just be a mini that's not being used, and then when that card comes out and they attack, if they kill someone and they have the ring, then you would just have that put under there. The difficult thing would be, how do you take that from them? I guess you could also just use.
Well, I'm not saying that they would ever get the ring, but I'm saying like if they were to kill me, I was saying like a semi where like if they killed me off, they get all my summoning points, and if they killed you off and Ryan's still alive, but ours added to 11 or more, boom, they win.
Okay, that works.
I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We like to just philosophize.
We like to philosophize.
But next up is those Temple Guardians. Woo! So again, we'll grab one of them out of the deck here to show off. If I can easily... There we go.
Temple Gardenia.
So, on your draw phase, if you draw a card and it's a Temple Guardian, play immediately. It says threat. It tells you exactly what to do. These cards do not go into the player's hand as they are table effect cards. When a Temple Guardian card...
Temple Guardian card. I'm glad I'm not the only one who can't read today.
When a Temple Guardian card is drawn, every player is subjected to that attack. The players can pick which of their heroes receives the attack. It can be countered with a playable action card or a playable counter card. So, for example, it literally says that all players reduce one hero 1 level, countered by any action card or any counter action card. Meaning, I think you just have to give up an action card.
Yes,
give up a counter card.
An attack action. So I would get rid of that to counter. Right?
Yes. This includes special cards such as Pit Trap or Hasty Retreat. If the card you play has additional effects, those effects take place. For example, if you play Hasty Retreat to counter, you move 1 of 3 spaces on the board as well. However, since the Temple Guardian has no location, if you play a card like Fireball, nothing else will happen.
Fireball.
No, never again.
You don't like Pitball?
No, I don't like that.
That
and whiskey.
No, I don't like that. Oh, Fireball, yeah.
That's what I thought you were going.
No.
After the Temple Guardian attack has been resolved, the drawing player then selects another card from their deck to their hand. So no matter how many Temple Guardians a player draws, they always will get 3 cards to start a new turn.
So just draw it, resolve, draw a new one.
Yeah, very similar to Fire Tower on how that works and how those special effect cards. Now,
speaking of Fire Tower, if you don't know what that is, we have a great playthrough of
Yes,
that.
we
And
do.
if you do know what it is, go watch our playthrough, because Steve and I found a way to tie at Fire Tower, which I imagine is incredibly difficult. Mutual destruction.
Yes. So claiming victory. As we've mentioned a few times, there are 2 ways to claim victory in Ring of Chaos. Number 1, you have to get to 11 summoning points. In order to do so, you can get summoning points when taking the ring from a player or from the board. That gives you 1. When your turn begins, you own and possess the ring, you get 3 additional points. If you kill off another player, you steal their summoning points up to a max of 10. Finally, there are some cards that do allow you to steal summoning points from another player. I believe we had an example of one a little earlier where you could take summoning points from them.
Chaos Magic.
Okay, there we go. Chaos Magic. Perfect.
Watch out for Chaos Magic.
In order to achieve the 11th summoning point, you must have the Ring of Chaos.
Mm.
So if I already had 10 summoning points, I kill off another player who did not have the ring. I cannot win victory in that form.
And you get a point for picking up that ring, so that would be your final point if you're sitting at 10. Simply picking it up, you would just win right the moment you picked it up.
The only other way to claim victory in this game is if all members of the adjacent party, so again, your adventuring party is these 4. So if all of the members of an adventuring party from all other players are dead, completely dead, not in the cannot defend mode, you will then win because you're the only one left. Now, we have the attack action decks. So this book, I don't think we're going to go through these. We'll go through these in the actual gameplay. So we'll zoom in here. So it goes through a bunch of the move action cards, the melee attacks, the range attacks, etc. So all of these cards, it just gives you a little bit more of a description on how they work, what they do. It's all on the cards itself. So as we play the playthrough, we'll just have that. But moving on, we do have a fun little thing at the end.
Is there anything about the maps in there?
There is not.
Okay.
But there is an FAQ, which might cover it. So we do have the adventuring parties. So as we started off the game, I chose the Giant Slayers.
Oh, and those are the
Nick chose the Hellraisers. So we have all 8 here. So there's 8 with 2 sets of minis each. I'll just read 4. Nick will read 4.
Sure.
Just so you understand what the options are. Again, you're not going to be able to just choose based off of this. You're going to choose based off of the cards that got randomly assigned at the beginning.
I mean, it's your choice.
But it is a fun...
It's your choice. Like,
no, it's not. You don't have a choice.
You can randomly choose if you want to. Like, that's what the rules say. But, of course, if you want to choose one, if everyone else you're playing with wants to, then
that's true.
Go for it.
But here we go. So I'll read the top line here. No choices. Random everything. That's just how Nick and I play. We like to just randomize it because we don't like to just take what we know we're going to be good at. We like to just see what happens. And it's also fun learning new strategies and new types of characters.
Well, yeah, it's a puzzle each time.
Yeah.
Okay, here's what you have to work with. Figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. So top line here, we have the Brute Squad. So the Brute Squad is literally an alligator and shield. Call out Yu-Gi-Oh! With a cleaver, almost. Or a K-bar. The Brute Squad, your successful melee attacks count as 2 hits against a single hero, i.e., the hero goes straight to dead from full strength.
Wow.
That is powerful.
That seems OP.
Yeah. Death from Above, which is a cool purple dragon, so that would be that big dragon. You can play any attack card as if it were a standard ranged attack from any class. Cool. So, for example, bow, throwing axe. The bow, the throwing axe, holy strike, and lightning bolt. So there's 4 there's 4 ranged attack cards. So, example, throwing axe is blue, meaning the fighter has to be alive to use it. If you're playing as Death from Above, any class can use this.
Nice.
You have the Dread Legion, which is the big ogre giant looking dude. You can continue to use class cards for any hero that is dead. You can never use resurrection cards, though. So once they're dead, they're dead. There's no necromancy with this guy.
Yep.
And then we have the Giant Slayers, who I am. Again, each time you are hit with a successful attack only. So that's interesting, too. So if you counter an attack, you don't get to use the ability, but you get to draw a card. The new card is added to your hand after the attack is resolved. It cannot be used to counter that same attack. So the attack will happen, it's successful, it resolves, then you draw the card, and it can be used for future turns.
Cool.
What do we got on the bottom here?
Next up, we have the Defenders of the Faith, and that is these holding the battle axes here. As a bonus...
That's a very you character.
Yeah. As a bonus action, not because I'm faithful, because I'm typically the warrior.
He just called himself unfaithful. There's the clip.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, sorry, Jen. As a bonus action, you can discard any 2 cards to raise 1 hero by 1 level. If used to raise a dead hero, this power is vulnerable to the Hellraiser's special power as if it were a resurrection or necromancy card. Okay, so Hellraisers, that makes more sense. If somebody else is using resurrection or necromancy, you would randomly discard 1 of my cards. Cool. So my thing is specifically trying to stop you from doing that.
Yeah.
Cool. Den of Thieves. which is this Zorro-looking dude here. If you draw a card as your attack action, you can choose to take a random card from any other player's hand instead of drawing from the deck.
Fun.
Interesting. Hellraisers, that's who I am. That's that you can play a random card as a counteraction to negate another player's resurrection card or necromancy card. That's more clear than the card I drew. The card is selected at random from your hand by the victim and is then discarded.
Yep.
And then the Servants of Chaos. That robed person. You can discard any 2 cards to counter a Temple Guardian attack. Unlike normal Temple Guardian counters, you do not gain the effects of the cards you discard. Okay, so if you don't have the normal ones that counter them, you can get rid of 2 to do it, but then you wouldn't get the effects. Cool. And then it's just the frequently asked questions. I just want to say, does it say anything about...
So I think we had to choose the map.
Okay, so there is teleport. So that's how we would get to that. So you would literally need to teleport
yes, I saw that.
To get over there.
In the stack.
Yeah. And anything on the frequently asked questions? You want to read those?
Why not?
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Jen's giving me a stroke over here.
Burnt toast.
Jen's trying to kill us, so she can't hear.
No, she has headphones on.
Rude. Yeah, I'm saying, I'm like, why am I smelling burnt toast? I just Mitch McConnell all of a sudden trying to read. I'm like, I can't read.
Have a stroke while actually making toast. You wouldn't even know.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean, so you hit the ground. But
yeah, I don't think you know. You might just not know because you're just passed out.
Oh, dead.
So here we go. Frequently asked questions and important reminders. So we'll just read these off for you in case you had any questions. First off, it is essential to gameplay that cards are drawn 1 at a time. So we covered that. Because of the Temple Guardian, you draw 1 at a time. Resolve the Temple Guardian if you draw 1, then continue drawing to get your 3. If there's a question about card interpretation, that is what the rulebook is for. Again, it goes very in depth on some of these. As we just saw with the hero descriptions, it gave a little bit more context than the cards on our player board. You can take your actions in any order. So...
remove attacker bonus. Yep.
Yes, but like a lot of games we play, you cannot split them. So because you can move 2 spaces, you can't just move 1 space, attack, and then move another space to get away. But you can attack and then move 2 spaces.
Yep.
Anytime a rule refers to party's proximity to another party, it refers to a relationship on the battle map, not the players at the table. So we don't care where you're sitting at the table and how many feet away you are. It's all about the game.
So right now, this is not adjacent just because we are adjacent. It's purely in-game on the board.
I want to know who playtested it. It's like,
really
hey, we're sitting next to each other.
If there's a player adjacent to you, then you can attack them. It's like, well, Steve's right here, so I can attack him.
So dumb. Like, this isn't a drinking card game.
Hey, I mean, somebody did it, and like, okay, let's specify.
But I do appreciate Beadle and Grimm for putting it there, because someone else is going to think of that, too.
Oh, goodness.
Next up, when you use a card to defend against a Temple Guardian, any additional effects take place. It'll explain that as well. So if you play a card, the effects on that card will also take place, especially if it's like a counter card. Also, when defending against Temple Guardians, you can use cards that your party can currently play. For example, you cannot use a Savage attack card to defend yourself if your fighter is already dead. So again, if you're going to use a card for the effects, it has to be something you can actually use. You can't just discard one.
Mm-hmm.
When a player draws and resolves a Temple Guardian, they then get to draw a replacement card. Again, that emphasizes you always will draw 3 cards for your hand. And then very finally, you must hold the ring to start your turn or obtain the ring as part of your turn to win that 11th summoning point to claim victory in that form of claiming victory.
I feel like this board, there must be a good amount of cards that let you teleport in that deck, or else this board was potentially broken, because if you get a teleport right from the very start...
Well, there's a lot that aren't just called teleporters, like the swap. So someone can teleport, you can swap.
Well, because if you teleported there, got the ring right away, and then just sit there, that's 1 for getting it,
4,
3,
7, 10,
boom.
So take 4 turns.
4, if someone can't get there within 4 turns, you just automatically win.
Yeah. And I think that's, again, why it requires at least 3 people to play.
Yeah.
To give the opportunity here. But this is Rings of Chaos. We just went through our rulebook rundown. Very nice board setup. Very nice artwork. As you can see there just from the cover of the book.
Yep.
Really simplistic player boards, but so far, it looks like it does the job it needs to do.
Yeah.
So we here at Bold and Board will be doing a playthrough next.
Yes.
Our friend Ryan will be joining us in
He'll
the
be
middle
right
spot.
here in the middle.
So we'll have all of the bald and all of the board.
All of the bald and all of the board. All of the bald.
We also are starting, if you check out our obsession videos we just did, we'll be starting rating and review videos.
Yes.
So we will give a thorough rating and review of this coming in about 2 weeks or so.
And we will be harsh.
We'll be harsh, we'll be honest. If it's something we love, we'll call that out. If it's something we hate, we'll call that out.
Yep.
But we do appreciate how fast the shipping went. That literally when shipping started, we got the Kickstarter saying shipping is going to happen. I got it within 3 days of that message going out.
How long did you wait for it after the Kickstarter ended?
I don't remember because we've kickstarted back so many games.
Oh, sorry, because some of them, like, I'm still.
No, I literally just don't remember when that one was
There's
back.
some that have been stuck in Kickstarter hell, like Lands.
This definitely, because you had some that you backed during COVID. This I backed
absolutely
in the last year.
It came very quick. Like there's one like Tiny Epic typically comes pretty quickly, but there's one Adventures in Neverland that I've been waiting for because Jen's favorite thing is Peter Pan.
Oh, that's right.
And waiting for that thing for so long.
Yeah.
It just keeps on being like production hell.
This campaign went pretty well. I know there was a little hiccup with shipping that they addressed in the Kickstarter messaging, but they went through the development phase. They were on their game and got it done. Again, really nice Sundrop minis.
Yeah.
So they still took the effort needed to make it a good quality game.
Yep.
Cool. But this is it. We also want to call out, thank you, Beadle and Grimm, for sharing our IG post.
Yes. We got your message. We will avoid the chaos magic now that we know what it is, and they can steal
I will
points
not
away.
avoid it, and I'm going to use it against Nick.
That is true. That's true. We probably won't avoid it. Try to avoid it from being used on us if you can. So I guess we have to really dive into that chaos to prevent it from being used against us. We have to become the chaos.
Yes. I will become the magician of chaos. Another Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, we'll see. So we're going to do our playthrough video next. When you're watching this, of course, this is on YouTube, so you will see that uploaded on YouTube afterwards. But just so you know, when we get games in like this, we do an unboxing and this rulebook rundown for each of them, and we will do a live playthrough for our very first time on Twitch on that Saturday after we had received it. So this playthrough will have been recorded on Twitch previously as well. So hopefully we can get 1 or 2 games in. I assume we can probably get at least 2 games in.
Yeah,
it seems
probably.
like it'll play pretty quick. But if you're not already following and subscribed here, definitely go and do that here and on Twitch so you can know when we're doing our items. On Twitch is where we do everything first. So if you will get access to those videos before anyone can see them here on YouTube, and you get to interact with us as well, which is part of the fun there.
Yeah, definitely. On Twitch, we'll start posting our schedule of exactly which game we're playing on Saturdays. So if there is an unboxing coming in, we'll post that into the calendar to say unboxing and what the game name is that's coming through. Also, follow us on Instagram.
Yep.
Every single week, we do story posts as well as actual posts of some of the fun content and pictures, as well as you'll know what's happening in the next few days.
And we have a Discord as well. And of course, we have a Board Game Geek profile too. That's there. So follow us on everything, all under Bald and Board, as in BORED, which you know by being here watching this, games. If you follow us on Instagram, you can find links to those in our bio via our link tree.
Yes.
I'm stoked to jump in. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Definitely.
Thank you for joining us here as we did our rulebook rundown of Ring of Chaos. Hopefully, it made the game even more clear for you. Honestly, I don't even think you need this video. The rulebook is very, very clear for what this game is and how to play. But I'm Bald.
I'm Bored.
We will see you on the battle map.
And delve into the chaos.